Air Force Pararescue, Tsunami Inbound, by James A. Shaw. Chapter 18, The Santa Maria Dauphin. The skipper rests soundly at his wheel. He dozes off and dreams of better times. A few hours slip by before he wakes. His travel is true north, but his bearing is a little off. His heading takes him dangerously close to the eastern banks of the shoreline, alongside the peninsula. His head throbs for some minutes before he soothes it with fingertips. He had won a poker game like this a few years ago, as the other players thought he was hiding something, when in fact he had a bad hand. As he wakes up, he notices the flashing alert on his pilot screen. It is a warning for running aground. He quickly readjusts the steering of his vessel and heads away from the dangerous ground. He wipes his face and realizes he had been asleep for more than 2 hours. He blasts the horn 3 times to signal for a meeting. 30 minutes later, the sleepy mariners file inside, including Cookson. The skipper's voice comes across, slow and confusing. They stare at him with puzzlement.
Who has a timer on their watch? I need it.
I do, Skipper. It's right here on my wrist.
The skipper takes the watch and begins to press buttons. He looks it over very confusingly. Mario says to Otto,
"He acts like he's never used a watch before. You think, maybe, he had a mini-stroke."
Otto gives a glare back to his younger brother, signaling him to remain silent and to be respectful. The skipper yawns and looks around on his large nautical charts for his lead mapping pencil and says,
I am sorry, men. I seem to have misplaced my pencil.
Is that it? The one by your hand?
Yes, thank you.
The skipper yawns again in an impressive manner. It looks like his jaw unhinges. The men wait as the skipper dazes around the charts. He seems to be looking for something and moves the charts around. A loud, thunderous clap of water slaps against the vessel. The ship takes another direct hit. The mariners topple over, almost spilling out the bulkhead doorway, over the protective railing, and into the ocean. The extra weight of the crabbing pots makes the boat top-heavy, and the boat rocks back and forth. Sergio loses his balance and knocks against Cookson. Cookson hits the side of the ship and cringes in pain, whereby his arthritis flares up. Sergio says,
"Glad you were there to take my fall."
Cookson pushes Sergio back in good fun. The ship rolls upright, and Cookson straightens out his back. He looks out over the deck. Several crabbing pots have shifted, causing an unbalanced weight and a hazard for the ship.
Skipper, I think we got a problem.
The skipper motions for the men to make haste and leave the wheelhouse.
Go fix that chaos out there and tighten everything down. We can't have crabbing pots falling off into the ocean or spilling onto the deck. You two, Cookson. I need every man out there. Whatever I need to say can wait.
Otto instructs the crew. Merrick and Mario quickly exit the wheelhouse, but are impeded by the rolling ocean. They slowly bound their way up to the front of the ship. The heavy swells cause their movements to be unstable. Once there, they are splashed by seawater on nearly every wave. Mario iterates his anger for the freezing ocean water that sprays him and says,
"It feels like we are in God's wrath."
Mario accidentally drops his wrench, which is used to tighten down the rigging. It slides down the deck, all the way to the back.
Seriously, I'm so ready to go home.
Merrick does not laugh at Mario's misfortune. He shuffles back, picks up the wrench, and carries it.
Here you go, Mario.
You didn't have to do that, you know?
I know. We be friends.
To the rear, Otto examines the crabbing pots and calls over slow-moving Cookson and youthful Sergio. As the first mate, he reviews their work and says,
You to get to work on these rear straps. That one pot right on the top looks like it is ready to roll off. Any minute that pot could crash down and hit one of us or be lost in the water, and then Skipper charges us $1,000.
Sergio and Cookson go to work. The first mate flips on the floodlights, helping to illuminate the deck's hidden hazards. The men can see better to fix the rigging. The light helps to cast a shadow from where Cookson works, making him look much taller than he actually is. The two men work, but Cookson drags behind, causing Sergio to get frustrated. Sergio says,
Please help me.
I am! Can you not tell? I am going as fast as I can. I am just old.
decades ago, Cookson sailed the ocean for adventure, but today it is only for a source of income. His adventurous spirit died many moons ago. A long life on the seas has caused him to work like a snail, and his wrist writhes in constant pain, evidence of advanced arthritis. A single man, never married, and with no children, even his own existence is such that, upon his death, he wonders if anyone will notice. The only good thing he feels is his love for the kitchen. Outside that, his day is a constant rhythm. 5 cups of coffee at each meal, along with a few chapters of Bible reading. Sergio and Cookson work with their clammy hands, but are hampered by the freezing crosswinds. The ocean roars with anger and splashes the men as they move about on deck. If this is for adventure, only Merrick enjoys the onslaught of the ocean's misery with a smile. Moving about on top of the pots is Sergio. He balances around like a trapeze artist. Sergio diligently works, but he is beginning to mentally break in the elements. His attitude takes a downwards turn as Cookson slowly moves to tighten the straps, causing Sergio to put more muscle into the workload and hold on tighter to keep from falling off. He needs Cookson to do his part so that he can come down off the cages. Sergio looks over the pots. He sprawls out. He shouts down to Cookson in final frustration.
Will you please hurry up? I am going to fall.
Just give me a second, Rusky.
Don't call me that.
I am sorry. Just messing with you. I know you are not Russian. What are you? Anyways, Greek, Spaniard, Italian. You look like you could be from any country.
Oh, says I am Russian. Just hold tight as straps.
Cookson hears him, but his arthritis strikes. He fumbles around with the rigging because his hands have no grip strength left. He tries to look busy as Otto comes around to inspect. He knows Otto's opinion is that he is dead weight, unless he is cooking or working on the engines. Cookson begins to mumble and complain of the terrible weather conditions and having to be on deck. Sheets of rain begin to fall, causing the rain to soak through even the heaviest of Gore-Tex garments. It only lasts for a few minutes, but it makes the work all the more miserable. Sergio looks up to the heavens and shouts to God.
Leave us alone, God?
Best to not test God.
The skipper's voice screams,
Incoming! 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 10 seconds!
The men know the drill, but this is no drill. They have rehearsed drills hundreds of times to grab a hold of anything in preparation for the incoming wave. But this time, it is no exercise. The mariners react and wrap their hands into the straps and pull the straps into their chests. Some men have time to even wrap their feet into the webbing for more strength, so that they are not swept over into the ocean. Sergio is the only sailor on top of the pots. He looks out across the bow, but locks up in fear as he sees the gigantic rogue wave racing towards their location.
Jump, Sergio.
It barrels down and hits the Santa Maria Dauphin like she is a small toy boat in a bathtub. The ocean water washes over the ship. The water pummels the sailors and causes a screeching sound like subway trains colliding. Sergio cries out to his mother. Everyone holds on for dear life as the wave pushes pots off the ship. The waters clears the ship and washes out. Sergio feels the pots move underneath him. He clings tighter, but the pot he rests on lifts up and begins to slide off.
Jump, Sergio.
Those pots are going to fall into the ocean.
Sergio scurries up the falling pot and jumps up. He lunges upwards and over the falling pot. He grabs the next pot by his fingertips. The cold, rustic metal eats through his thick fisherman's gloves and into his flesh. Behind him, the crabbing pot slides off and tumbles into the ocean. It bangs against the side of the ship before disappearing. The boat then takes a sluggish turn in the water and lists heavier to starboard. The ship groans and aches. A slow-moving sound of twisting metal unleashes underneath the ship. The action is unhurried as the ship tips further over on its side. Cookson says,
Break those two lines. If not, we are all going to die.
First mate looks around and knows that the ship should right herself up, but she is too far over in the water. Several pots break lines, which cause them to somersault over into the ocean. The remaining pots continue to stress and strain the ship in an unnatural position. The horn sounds off.
Hold on,
Sergio helplessly holds on. If he lets go, he will fall straight down into the open ocean. First mate muscles himself up through the pounding water. He grabs a hold to a strand of pots that had not been properly secured. The pots arch over the side of the ship like the letter R. He loosens the strap and watches. The pots break off and splash into the water. A total of 10 pots slide overboard in seconds. The SMD does not move. First mate pulls himself to another strand of pots. He quickly unties the rope knot, and the ship begins to right herself up and into a stable position. First mate stumbles to the center of the deck.
Everyone okay?
That is the last time I am ever coming on deck. Are you okay, Sergio?
The men sound off in distinct unison, and all are alive. Sergio climbs down from 3 stacked pots. He shakes in fear.
He should be dead.
But you are not?
How am I not dead?
Does it matter?
Then you tell me. You have sailed for years. Nothing about what just happened is normal. We should have capsized.
Many days I have sailed, but only in my childhood have I seen a boat roll on her side that far and not go down.
What do you mean? Did you sail as a child?
The ocean is all I have ever known. We were on a small fishing boat and tossed about by the sea in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We rolled. We must have spent 2 or 3 hours on our side with sharks swimming by. So yes, the ocean reminds us of who is in charge.
The battered flag of the Santa Maria Dauphin begins to rest. It furls down. The wind stops, and all becomes eerily still. All is quiet, almost too quiet. The waves take a break from beating the ship, and Mother Nature pauses. The mariners huddle together on the deck. They are happy to see Sergio alive. They give him space to process what just happened. Sergio pulls out his tiny golden Eastern Orthodox cross, which hangs around his neck. He kisses it and mouths a prayer. His hands slightly shake, and he begins to hum emotionally. Cookson tries to comfort Sergio by sharing a story.
It is called by my mother the Whisper Prayer, and she would sing it when things were bad in the house.
Can we hear it?
Where roses blossom and heaven meet, out of Egypt we shall meet. Freed slaves, but a famine is all we know. A prayer today, oh here I grant to you thy bread. The young boy's stomach now is dead.
That sounds depressing.
Sergio's nervousness dies down, and he keeps his hands together in prayer. The men look into each other's eyes. They look like ghosts. They realize they faced certain death, had first mate not acted and cut some of the pots. The first mate interrupts the long silence from the men.
Hey, Cookson, what do you think is going on with the skipper?
A question you ask, not your best timing. So here is my opinion. How come we were so close to Port Thai? Think the skipper is hiding something.
I just figured I'd ask your opinion.
That's my opinion. What causes you to ask?
I am sorry to ask.
Otto tries to bond the mariners' differences with friendly small talk, but it does not amount to much. Otto takes a deep breath and pulls out a cigarette. He motions to Cookson.
You want one?
Do you think I need a cigarette?
Sergio motions for a cigarette with his hand.
What? You want a cigarette, Sergio? You never smoke.
Cookson, I think it is because he almost died.
First mate Otto finishes his cigarette, along with Sergio, who coughs in bad haste. First mate prepares himself mentally for whatever new task the skipper might have. He eyes the skipper in the wheelhouse. He knows he will have to answer for cutting the pots, but he did so to save the ship. However, few times does the skipper ever say, "Good job." He knows that the skipper's health is not in good order, and when he gets tired, the old man can lash out in short sentences that are vague and confusing. It is one of his weaknesses as a skipper. Otto timidly walks up, rehearsing his words. He reaches the door and takes a deep breath. He raises his hand to knock on the door.
First mate coming as you have explaining,
Says the skipper. Otto cautiously opens the door with his sweaty palm. He expects to be lashed out at. He opens his eyes and sees that the skipper shows little emotion. He looks very flat in the face. The skipper checks the gauges as he does a post-damage assessment in order to ensure the safety of his ship. He uses a notepad and writes down numbers. He then peers out, while smoking his cigar to survey the work completed. He sees the work done and gives off a heavy yawn, then takes a long hit on his smoky-flavored cigar. His breathing labors, and he grabs a hold of his left side. The skipper breaks the silence.
Yes, what is it?
Otto scans the room before eyeing the floor, like a dog in trouble.
Sir, might you have a minute to speak before you call the crew?
The skipper nods his head and raises his hardened index finger, giving approval to speak freely.
Sir, the men are tired. I am wondering, well, if you are tired. You look tired, and truthfully, we have no storage on deck for large equipment, or cabin space to ferry survivors like you stated earlier, and we really do not know what is going on. Might it be best to hold our position and wait, or at least figure out what bigger picture is going on in Alaska?
Now is not a good time. Can't you see that we have a mountain of work to do? And to make matters worse, we just lost money.
Sorry about the pots, you had to see it. Sergio would have died. Please don't take it out on us.
Listen, I will give you some advice. It is in your best interest to keep the men always busy. A skipper knows when the men are tired or when they are being lazy. A skipper knows when to call a sailor's bluff and when to fold. Is not that what you are after? To become skipper one day?
No, sir. In fact, quite opposite. It is just that.
Just what? First mate Otto. Now I know what I have offered you and your brothers. You work hard and Mario is good. Not as good as you, but I have seen your work ethic slipping. Might you be reminded of the good? You came from nothing. I gave you something. Life is a lot like poker. Sometimes you must take the cards you are dealt and make the best. Now, to take helms of this ship requires more from a man than to be friendly with the crew. Those pots were lost because of the hands on the deck, not from this chair.
Okay, skipper.
Otto feels dejected. He looks further down at his feet and waits for his next orders. The skipper blows the horn for all the men to return to the wheelhouse.
Listen, Otto, we can talk later, but now is not the time for wasteful language.
Seconds later, the crew members join the ranks, standing poised for their marching orders.
Where is Merrick? I am waiting.
Otto counts and realizes they are a man short. He looks at his brother for some assistance. His brother shrugs his shoulders.
Well, anyone. Do I need to implement new guidelines or harsher treatment? What if we have a man overboard?
Merrick asked me if he could check on the dog. I replied, yes. I suspect any second now he will appear with his dog.
Cookson, we will talk later offline.
They wait a few more minutes, with a painful silence, in the wheelhouse. However, once they see Merrick walking his dog Poi on the bow of the ship, the skipper vents his anger by taking the last of his cigar and inhaling it. The skipper is impatient with Merrick. He takes a shot glass and pours an orange-flavored Gatorade. He then mixes in a small amount of vodka. He tosses his head back and downs the drink.
Man, I have no plan.
Wait, that is it? Seriously? That is it?
Says Mario under a low murmur.
We travel all this way to Anchorage for some rescue trip, and you have no real plan. Are you just here to toy with us? I need money. We could be fishing. What are we even doing here?
Hold your tongue, brother. Those questions need to come through me.
Well, Then ask those questions first, mate. Do your job and intervene. Go on, ask.
Skipper, is it true that you have no plan?
The skipper waves off the words. He pours another shot of vodka Gatorade and stirs it with his finger. Cookson fumes and stomps his foot down.
Have you lost your senses? Where are we? Are we even heading to Anchorage?
We are heading to Anchorage, right?
Mario's voice tapers off, and he looks down, knowing he broke ranks. The skipper slams his fist down onto the table, causing his shot glass to spill over.
I will not tolerate this kind of insubordination in my ranks from any of you, especially you, Cookson, and especially you, first mate. Another outburst such as this, I will dock your pay.
What pay? Any one of us can do the math. There is no pay.
Enough.
Go ahead, do it. See if you eat. You have no money, do you?
A staring contest ensues, and the two old men hold out their grudges. The men grumble underneath their breaths, looking for a witty comeback. But neither one is mentally sharp as the stressful day has taken its toll.
Skipper, I see Merrick, and he is motioning to us on the bow of the ship. Something appears to be wrong. He is trying to get your attention.
Fine then, just stop. This conversation will not be circled back. Now, Sergio or First Mate, can you make out anything on the bow or what it is he sees?
No, Skipper.
No, sir.
On the bow, Merrick holds his position, waving empathically to the wheelhouse. His dog barks loudly with liveliness, not really knowing what is going on. A break in the cloud cover reveals a brilliant moon, casting a bright orange illumination across the water.
Sergio, find out what is going on and report back.
Sergio takes off and runs out and down the center aisle between the crabbing pots. The men watch him as if he were a silent film. Sergio is not long, a few minutes at best, but returns with Merrick. They run into the wheelhouse. Both men breathe heavily. Merrick emphatically apologizes for his delay.
You see, men, you've got to have a fight in your heart. I need more of this, and not whatever this attitude of immoral display was. Respect, men, goes a long way. Now, Merrick, what is it that troubles you on the bow?
Sir, I'd like to report that off to our 3 o'clock lights. I really think that they are trying to signal us.
Are they telling us to stop?
That is actually a good question.
The skipper begins to think out loud, drawing up reasons why there would be a distress signal from the shoreline, and why it was directed at him. He stares down at his charts. The men watch his odd behavior as he talks to himself, as if they are not even present.
We need to carry on to Anchorage, but this information is relevant. If the men are tired, will they hold their own to carry us into port? But what if we cannot port? The bay could be packed with sunken debris that could sink our ship. We could run aground with the new coastline. If there is justification to make more advancement, it is best to wait until tomorrow with sunrise. It is the darkness that is our number one enemy.
The men watch in confusion as the skipper methodically plans. Only minutes ago, he called the men and discussed his lack of planning, and yet here he was, going through detailed analysis. The oddity perplexes the men. He pulls out the binoculars and heads to the bridge off the wheelhouse. He dials in on a distant spot of light on the night horizon. He returns to the wheelhouse and annotates the light's position in his captain's log. The skipper picks up the near-empty bottle of vodka and takes a small sip. He takes his finger and flicks the Hawaiian hula girl. The men continue to stare in confusion at one another.
That will be my plan. That will be our payday.
What is he rambling about?
Whispers Mario into Merrick's ear. The skipper turns to his men. He appears happy and confident. He speaks with conviction and energy.
Yes, it's done. We now wait to your beds for a few hours until light. Now, go on. Best to sleep before work tomorrow.
Just saying, Skipper, but this is the oddest moment I have ever had with you. I am going to bed.
Kind of have to agree with Cookson. Maybe you need some sleep, Skipper.
The men depart, and the skipper sits back, happy. The skipper exhales long. He opens the windows and breathes in the air. He is at peace.